update. A lot of you said that you were quite interested in hearing more about it. But there are actually a few other things I wanted to talk about, so I realized this was probably going to be more of a whisper ramble with a concerta update. I'm gonna try to do some slower whispers rather than go off on tangents. I know some of you like it when I go off on tangents, but I don't know if my whispers that I know a lot of you really love fully come out right, like fully come to its right if I go on a tangent. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit more close and a little bit more deliberate in my whispering. I'm trying to make this door a little cozier. I hung up some flower lights. I'm gonna change that. I'm trying to order new lights on Amazon. I just have to figure out which ones. So yeah, first thing I wanted to talk about is thank you all for being so gracious to respond to my poll and leave some comments. It seems that the majority of the problem is that none of you are getting notifications when I post, even though you're subscribed to me. Now, I know I'm in YouTube algorithm jail because I took such a long break, and it's going to take a while for me to get out of that. But I've never begged for viewers. This is my hobby. I used to have a creative job where I worked a lot with media, and I haven't had that in years. So I've been using my YouTube channel really as just a creative outlet, a way for me to work with audio and video and create something. But if you put a lot of time into a video and nobody watches it, that's not exactly fun either. So I'm not asking YouTube to push my videos to new subscribers with the algorithm. I'm just asking them to notify my existing subscribers. So if you could please just check for me whether your notification bell is still ticked. If it isn't, go ahead and re-tick it if you want notifications. It's fine if you don't. And if it is ticked, just untick it and tick it again and choose all notifications, and that should fix the notification issue. The views that your video gets in the first 24 hours are the most important. You're not really going to get a lot more than that. It's kind of what makes the algorithm, I guess, pick up the video, the views and likes it gets in the first 24 hours. Again, I'm not currently aiming for a new audience, although it would be lovely. I do want to grow this channel. But let's just first get back to a consistent upload schedule and not let you guys down again. That's my priority because you guys have been here from the start. So I just want you to at least get the notifications. Then, just wanted to show you my wounds are healing for the most part. This one is just a little bit left. This one is completely scabbed over. The tiny dot here I don't see anymore, but this one, okay, this now has a scab. This part still doesn't. Up until yesterday that had nothing. It wasn't burning anymore when I was applying aloe vera cream, but it was just not seemingly healing, which I thought was a bit weird, but for the most part they're healing. So great. I've been very careful with my skincare not to apply moisturizer so that I can avoid these areas easily. I'm looking forward. I think I can start applying full skincare again before my skin gets too dry again, so that's good. Then I also just briefly wanted to talk about James Van Der Beek today. I don't know what it is, but I have shed so many tears about him today that I have not shed about any other celebrity. And I can't really explain why. When Catherine O'Hara died, I was really upset. You all know I love Schitt's Creek. I rewatch it at least 4 times a year, but because it's only 6 seasons with 13 episodes that are 20 minutes long each, I rewatch it like 5 times in a row, 4 times a year. And Home Alone is the one Christmas movie that I don't think you can only watch at Christmas. I start watching that movie in May, and I watch it multiple times a year. So she's kind of just always in my life, and I was very upset when she died. And like Matthew Perry, like Friends was everything to me. I can mute that show and say it line per line, word perfect. I know everything there is to know about Friends, and I was really upset when he died. But to shed actual tears, I didn't do that. I know that a parasocial relationship exists. I think it is perfectly fine to be upset over a celebrity's death. Some people don't understand it, that's fine, but that there is such a thing. You may not know them personally, but you know who they are, and you often feel like you know them based on interviews and things you've seen of them. So I think it's perfectly fine to be upset over a celebrity's death. But this one, I was a huge Dawson's Creek fan. I was 16 when that show came out, and they were all playing 16-year-olds. All my friends watched it. My gay best friend and I really bonded over it. We felt like we were Jack and Jen. We had the same kind of friendship. We called that was our nickname for each other. We called each other Jack and Jen. We just bonded over it. And I have 2 bookcases in this room, one with books on it, one with DVDs on it, and I'm looking at 6 boxes of Dawson's Creek. Have I watched it? No. I haven't watched it in a really long time. And quite honestly, I haven't really been following James Van Der Beek either. I saw he had a guest role on Modern Family, which is a show I've watched a million times. And a guest role in Criminal Minds that I've seen a lot too. But other than that, I can't really immediately recall other things I've seen him in. Nor have I didn't follow him on Instagram. But since, today really, I've been watching a lot of his videos on Instagram, and what an insightful and loving human being. And the tributes to him are all some of the most gorgeous ones I've ever read for a celebrity, and I'll say the same thing. But I still can't explain why that one is hitting me so hard, because again, aside from Dawson's Creek, I wasn't really following him. But I think Dawson's Creek was a very show in my life, and I feel like a part of my inner teenager died with him. And I think really what is making me so upset is the knowledge that he's leaving behind 6 kids that are all really young. I think, I don't know their exact ages, but looking at them, I'd say the oldest is anywhere between 13 and 15, and the youngest is like 2. So his wife is now a single mom to 6 kids between teenager and the terrible 2s. Like, that's gotta be so hard. So I can't explain it. It's just, I had to log off social media because every second or third post I saw was a tribute to him, and tears just rolled down my face. And at some point I had a meeting on camera in like 30 minutes, and I was like, holy crap, you're still crying. Like, you need to get off social media because you can't show up on camera with wet eyes. They're gonna wonder what's wrong, and what are you gonna say? I'm crying over a celebrity that died. It's just bizarre. So I genuinely don't know why, but this one is hitting me really hard, and I wanted to just acknowledge that. And if you were a teenage girl in the 90s, I feel you today. So I wanted to pay my own little tribute to him and say, way too soon. Way too soon. Okay, now let's get into my update. So, I upped my dosage of Concerta to 36 milligrams on Sunday. I think I explained this in the 27 milligram update video, but I'll just say it again. Concerta does 2 things. It ups your dopamine levels, and it ups your dopamine, and it ups your norepinephrine. Now, I'm not 100% sure what norepinephrine does, but I know that it's one of the 2 things my beta blocker prevents from reaching my heart, along with adrenaline, so that when I feel anxious, my heart doesn't go faster. So I think norepinephrine is very similar to adrenaline. And when that goes up, my anxiety goes up. Now, I know it's not mental, but it's my body having a physical reaction to something that would go up if I was anxious. So what always happens to me when something like that goes up is I feel really warm. And it's like one of those like inside out warmths. It's inside your body. You just can't cool it down. Now with the 27 milligrams, it lasted for 5 days, but it wasn't all that bad. It lasted a few hours, and it happened for 5 days. My side effects on the 18 milligram were also 5 days. So, but it wasn't really that bad. I could handle it. On the 36 milligrams, it was bad. Like, I could stand outside and feel like flames were coming out of my body. I was so warm. So unfortunately, which is something I was trying to avoid, but I had to resort to taking Xanax. The lowest dose I knew would help. I have a dose that I don't feel like kicking in, but that baseline brings me back to normal. If my anxiety is really bad or I really need to feel calm for a situation, I'll take a slightly higher dose that I would still feel. But I didn't want it to counteract the working of the Concerta too much, because they're opposites, right? One is ups your nervous system and the other downs your nervous system. So I took the lowest dose I knew would work, and it did work, and it made me then feel great for the rest of the day. Did I end up doing anything on Sunday? Because Sunday was obviously football day. I think I recorded my skincare video on Sunday. Yes. And then on Monday, I was too anxious to take it based on what happened on Sunday, so I took it with the Xanax. So I didn't notice it. And then I met up with my friend at the coffee shop. I actually did notice it. I was still feeling a little warm in the coffee shop, but once everything kicked in, I was chatting with her, it went away. And went into the grocery store to pick up a few items to eat, which again is a great accomplishment for me because I hate going to the grocery store, but it's easier on that medication. And then on Tuesday, I decided to just take it. I was like, you're never gonna know when the side effects will end if you keep taking it with Xanax, so just take it. And honestly, it was done. No more warmth, so the side effects only lasted 2 days on the highest dose. And I can't tell anymore when it kicks in or if it kicks in, but I'm certain it does because I do notice behavioral changes. Now, I was always told by a lot of Reddit users that this medication wasn't going to solve everything for me. It was going to help me, but I needed to work with it. And I'm starting to realize what that means. I find that I have pockets of motivation throughout the day, and I need to use them. If I think to myself, oh, I need to take a shower, I kind of want to do it now. I need to just take a break from work and go take a shower, because if that pocket of motivation is gone, it may not come back for the rest of the day. The motivation part that I so craved is there, but it's not there constantly, and quite frankly, I don't think it's supposed to be. I don't think neurotypical people are constantly motivated to do things. I always talk about emptying the dishwasher. I used to think about that every day for a week. Empty the dishwasher, put the dirty dishes in, and I didn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to, until I finally did, and I didn't have enough space in my dishwasher for all the dirty dishes that had piled up, and I had to do 2 loads of dishwashing. That happened last week too, but it only took 3 days. I was heating up some leftovers from dinner the night before, and I thought, let me quickly unload the dishwasher, and I just quickly did it and put the dirty dishes in, and my kitchen was clean again. 3 days. So it no longer takes me as long to procrastinate on something than before. But I thought to myself, damn it, I really thought that would go away and I would just be able to do these things without dreading them. And then I thought to myself, they're called house chores for a reason. I think neurotypical people think a lot of these things are chores too and procrastinate on them. I doubt that everyone just loves doing cleaning and washing up and loads of laundry. I think everyone Someone has to at some point force themselves to do it. So you're just gonna have to for certain things, but it has made a lot of other things easier. So on Tuesday, because I didn't feel any side effects, I was like, you know what, I want to go do some shopping. But I was stuck in a really weird meeting space. So I'm still, late sleeper. This is just how my circadian rhythm is now. I go to sleep at like 4 a.m. and I get up at 11. So I had a meeting at 1 and a meeting at 3 that ended at 4. If I leave my house at 4, I'm coming back in rush hour traffic, and where I live, as a lot of people say, is just one giant parking lot. The last, I don't know, 4 years. There's just way more cars on the road than we actually have infrastructure for. So when I say it's a parking lot, I mean it. Like, you sometimes don't move for hours. There is an incident recently where people were trying to get out of a multi-story parking garage attached to a shopping center, and nobody could get out because nobody on the road could move. And they called the guards, Irish police, and asked them if they could please send someone to come regulate the traffic, and they refused. So there were people that were stuck in that parking garage for 3 hours before they could get out. So 3 p.m. is the latest I want to go anywhere near town, because otherwise I'm either not gonna get back home, or it's just gonna take like 3 hours. So I want to avoid rush hours. So I knew that was a lost day and I wasn't gonna be able to go anywhere. So I decided to finish my curtain project. My curtain project. Let me tell you about that. I've been sleeping in my spare bedroom for weeks because I started a curtain project and didn't finish it. Okay, like my main bedroom has curtains lying on the bed, curtain rods across the room, 2 laundry baskets in the middle of the bedroom floor. Like, I just can't sleep there. But I have a problem that I hope this solves, but if it doesn't, if any of you, again, asking for your help, have ever had this problem, let me know what might be a good solution. I have blackout roller blinds, but the problem with roller blinds is they get fitted within the window frame, so the sides and the top leave a huge gap. And I can literally during the day walk around my room with those roller blinds down and no lights on and just have perfect view. Like, my room is insanely lit. So I couldn't sleep with them. So I bought curtains. But I didn't think about the fact that they weren't blackout curtains, so they weren't helping much. They were doing something, but they weren't helping much. I had to put a sleep mask on, which I don't sleep great with. So I decided to buy blackout curtains. Every time, and they're also thermal, but I haven't noticed that they keep a lot of the heat out. But every time the sun hits them, they give off an awful smell. It's the first thing that wakes me up, and it actually makes me feel nauseous. I need to immediately open the windows, and usually come to the spare bedroom to continue sleeping for a few more hours, like in the summer. So the spare bedroom is north facing. I never have a problem with the sun hitting this room. But my main bedroom has one floor to ceiling window that's east facing and one floor to ceiling window that's south facing. So if it's a sunny day, my room gets hit by the sun the entire day. And the curtains just smell like terrible. So it took me a long time to realize it was the curtains. I started thinking it was the carpets, or maybe I needed to deep clean my room or something, but then I was like, that makes no sense. You have carpet all upstairs. And you didn't have this problem the first year and a half you lived here, and you had carpet then too. What's new in the last year and a half are your blackout curtains. So I googled it, and apparently that is a very common thing with blackout curtains. The lining they use for that contains some sort of organic material that creates bacteria, and when the sun hits it, that gets released and creates a smell. Now, similar to bedding, you're not supposed to use it straight out of the packaging. You're supposed to wash it first. Now, I've never put new sheets on my bed without washing them first, but for some reason those curtains, I just hung them straight up, and they are vacuum packed, so whatever bacteria and smell were already there were so much worse because they were vacuum packed, and I just hung them straight up. So I decided it was time I washed them. It took me 3 days to figure out how to get the damn curtain rod down. One of them, because I have two. I have 4 curtains, and only one at a time fits in my washing machine. So 3 days to figure out how to get a curtain rod down. Then, because I couldn't get the ball at the end off, it's like a tiny screw, and I have a million screwdrivers. I know at least one of them fit, but the screw just wouldn't budge. So it's an extendable pull rod. So I extended it, but it is so big that it literally ran from one corner to the other corner diagonally across my bedroom. That's how big it was. Once fully extended, you can screw it open in the middle and tear them apart. So that's how I ended up removing the curtains, and then I have to wash one by one, and they take 2 days to air dry because I decided to do this in February instead of in the summer when I could dry them outside and they'd probably be done in a few hours, but no, February. So takes 2 days to dry one curtain. So I did that, and then I did the second curtain, and that curtain hung to dry for like 2 weeks. I just gave up after that. And so Tuesday I decided I was gonna finish that. So I hung both washed curtains back on the rod and the rod back up, which was insanely heavy with the curtains on. And now I'm thinking, can't you just hang both halves up, because you click them into the bracket and then hang each curtain on and then just slide the rod to each other and tighten it so that you don't have to hang up the entire thing with the curtains already on them because they're so heavy. I'm gonna try that next time. See, sometimes ideas, good, like easy ideas will come to me, but it takes me a while. because the other one should be dry. And I'm hoping that all curtains are hanging back in my bedroom by Sunday. And then it's going to be a test to see the next time the sun shines whether I still have that smell. If I do bye-bye curtains, I cannot sleep with that smell. I'm going to have to go to a curtain store, I think, and either ask for advice or get curtains that are not made of that material, which apparently is like 90% of curtains, so it's going to be hard to find that. But at this point, and that's another thing I think that medication is doing for me, that's not a problem right now. Right now I'm dealing with cleaning them and hanging them back up. And that's what I find the medication, it kind of works in subtle ways, I notice. Like, whenever, like, I think a lot less about the future, and I foresee a lot less problems in the future because I'm not there at the moment. I'm in the middle of a task here. So I live a lot more in the present, which is great. I find it a lot easier to concentrate at work. Again, I had this mind, like yesterday I had too much work to do to go out. I had this mind-numbing task to do that took me like 3 hours. I had to assign how do I stay vague about this? I had to assign items in a system to certain people. Someone sent me an Excel list and it was like, items from this customer go to this person, items from this customer go to this person. Great. I filtered the Excel one by one by customer name so that I could assign all those to the same person. But in the system, they're not sorted alphabetically, they're sorted by close date. And so I would go through the list and try and find each one from the customer, but every now and then I would miss one. And I was about a quarter of the way through when I was like, you can sort them alphabetically, right? Like, you can choose whatever column you sort them on. So when I sorted them alphabetically in the system, the job suddenly became a lot easier because every item of the same customer appeared underneath each other. So I didn't think of it immediately, but without the medication, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have thought of it at all, and it would have taken me way longer to finish the task. So it's little things like that where it is really helping me. I am like super proud of myself when I go downstairs to get something and I actually come upstairs with that item, because usually I get distracted by a couple of things I have to do and then I bring up other things and I forget the one item I was actually going to get. So I remember that a lot more now, every time now. The medication, again, not a wonder drug. So another thing, sorry, this is just like a side story I wanted to tell of how scatterbrained I was before. Right before my birthday in November, I got a message on Facebook from a friend, and she said, "Here, early birthday present," and it was an announcement that Josh Groban was giving a concert in Dublin. Haven't seen him in concert in years, and I was like, oh great, I'm gonna get a ticket for that as soon as they go on sale. Now, because in Dublin, it's in the 3 arena, and 3 happens to be my mobile phone provider, I get a pre-sale code. So I joined the pre-sale, got a second row, middle of the row ticket. Delighted. We'll have a great view of the stage. what's called the Point Village. So it has the 3 arena in it, and then it has a cinema and some restaurants and a hotel. So literally you walk out of the venue straight into the hotel, and I always want to book that hotel when I go to that venue. So I booked it right after I bought my ticket. Last night, it popped into my head. I was like, oh crap, I keep forgetting that I have a Josh Groban concert in March. Don't forget about it. And I was in my head planning out my day, what I was gonna do if I was gonna go up on, it was a Thursday, the 26th. It was in my mind on Thursday, the 26th of March, and I knew I had a dentist appointment in the morning. So I was planning on leaving for Dublin straight after my dentist appointment, and I was going to take a day off from work, might do some shopping, and then chill for a few hours in the hotel before the concert. And I was like, let me check what time the concert starts, because he tends to start quite early. And I went on to Ticketmaster, and it said Sunday, 29th of March. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I booked a ticket for the 26th. Is he doing 2 shows? So I checked. No, he's doing 1 show. My ticket is for the 29th of March. And when I checked my friend's message, while it didn't have a date, it did say Sunday, which is the 29th of March. So I bought the ticket. And it's not like I booked a hotel a day later or 2 weeks later where I messed up the date. I booked it right after. And I was convinced it was the 26th of March, and I've been convinced of that for months. Every time I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, 26th of March. No, it's the 29th. So, luckily the prices for that hotel are the same on the 29th, so they haven't gone up. Which reminds me, I need to rebook it. I always book through hotels.com. You can't change your own reservation. You have to do it through a virtual agent, which I've never tried before, so I'm going to do that after I record this video. But, I'm glad I checked it last night, because I would have driven up on the 26th and just been like, hello, why is this venue closed? I don't know. I don't know how that happens. You literally buy a ticket, book a hotel immediately after, and get the date wrong. It's a great thing in the end. I don't have to take a day off from work. I'm just gonna drive to our Dublin office on Monday morning, because I don't have a team where I live, but I have a big team in Dublin, and they come into the office every Monday and Tuesday, so it would be great to just see my Dublin team and just work from our Dublin office for Monday and then drive home afterwards. Those are the kind of things I'm hoping won't happen anymore, but again, it's not a miracle drug. So, we'll see. I noticed that the 36 milligram works a lot longer. Like when I try to watch TV at night in bed and kind of settle down, I can't really do it. Like 10 p.m. and I still want to get up and do things when it should have long stopped working. I take it around, again, usually 1 p.m. Today I had an early meeting, so I took it around 11, but it works between 8 and 12 hours. Before, I kind of felt like it wore off after 6. Now I think it genuinely works for 12 hours, because if I take it at 1, then 10 p.m. is 9 hours later, and I'm still like, I want to get up and do something. And sometimes that's genuinely just sit down and record a video. But I just do something. So that is great. I hope it lasts. I 36 milligrams, because at least now I have an appointment with my psychiatrist on Saturday. I can tell him. I was worried I would feel it really strong the whole first week, and then I couldn't really tell him how it made me feel, or if it was giving me any benefits the second week. But because it kind of normalized very quickly this time around, I think I can give him a fairly good idea of that. I think it's helping me sufficiently that I'd like to continue with it. I have, again, a lot less migraines, a lot less tension headaches, digestion. I was very excited that it was better, but then it went bad again. Digestion for me is always a cycle. I have weeks where I can eat anything I want and it's fine, and I have weeks where I can eat a bowl of soup and feel uncomfortable. But what it hasn't done is taken away my appetite in the slightest. I really have no negative side effects from it. I've measured my blood pressure and heart rate the first 3 days of each dose. Normal, or in some cases quite low. I've had low blood pressure my whole life, so that doesn't concern me, but I thought the Concerta would at least up it to a normal blood pressure, but no. I still get readings of like 9/6. So, and my beta blocker is keeping my heart rate completely at bay, so that is not affected by it either. So I am really happy to continue on the dosage and see how long it keeps working for me. And I will tell him that on Saturday and hope we can keep going. I might do small or incorporate it into a Whisper Ramble monthly updates, or maybe like an update every 3 months, just to keep you guys informed. As long as you don't see me disappear again, the medication is working, because I do have an incredible amount of motivation to record. I just need ideas. I want to get back to 2 times a week, which is why I'm uploading today. But I need ideas. I have a list that I've already pre-planned, but it's still very makeup related, and not everyone likes that. So I want to like switch it up with something like this, and then maybe do one makeup video on Sunday, and then maybe mid next week do a true crime video, and then another makeup video the next Sunday, because my makeup favorites is gonna have to be split in 3 videos. It's just way too much stuff. But I'm gonna try to mix it up and not always do the same subjects. I mean, I could whisper ramble literally every video. I always have something to talk about. This video's 45 minutes, my god. I don't know how we got there. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here, but again, thank you guys for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for those who are interested in my journey with it. I know a lot of you are neurodivergent and understand me very well, and I've never had that before, because I never knew I was. So I understand myself a lot better, and I appreciate that other people understand me too. And if you have a solution for